Hi, everyone. I'm Carrie Warnick, Program Coordinator for Multi-Region Purchasing Co-op, which is out of the Region 10 Education Service Center in Richardson, Texas. And welcome to a hopefully fairly short walkthrough of the Bonfire software, which is the e-bid software Multi-Region Co-op utilizes for all of our formal procurement methods. So let's get started. If you are watching this video, that means you received an email from me with a link to the video and possibly a link or an attachment to our main solicitation document that contains a link to the Region 10 portal in Bonfire. If you have never used Bonfire, I promise it is an easy program to navigate, and I'm going to show you a few of the things about the program to help you with that. So let's get started. Okay, first, I am on just the login or registration page. Now, I believe when you click on that link to take you to this page, you may see a little bit different of a setup with a button to register if you've never used Bonfire before. If you have been in Bonfire before, then you have a login, and there are two choices there. Either you log in or you click on register to get an account, and it's pretty straightforward. You'll just simply complete the organization name, your first and last name, email, repeat your email to make sure you got it right the first time, and then create an account. If you watched any previous videos, such as a pre-bid bidders conference video from me, you know that Bonfire is completely free to vendors. If you're going to step into a project, which is basically our bid opportunity, that is at no cost to you to download our documents, review the bid, and also respond to the opportunity. So go ahead and get yourself registered or get logged in and take advantage of this hopefully wonderful opportunity. All right, I'm logging in and not sure why this is taking a little bit of time. Interesting. Shouldn't take that long, but who knows, it's a Wednesday today as I'm filming this. All right, now when you log in and you see that main page, you'll see opportunities, and you will see that there's a public opportunity of kitchen equipment repair services from Multi-Region Co-op. And when you click on that opportunity, or if you've just newly registered, you will probably get an email to click and log in. It's going to open you up to what they call the dashboard or the details of this project. Now, this is a request for proposal, formal procurement method. It is RFP number 2025-02, as noted up here as a reference number. It is for kitchen equipment repair services at school districts, and we have approximately 47 districts participating on this bid. And this really came out of a need to have formally procured and federal and state compliant bid awards to make our district's lives easier when they call on a repair service and need something, fixed in their kitchen, a piece of equipment, or maybe they need a delivery service or a removal and disposal service. So the bid sort of encompasses all these services. One thing this bid is not, it is not a parts bid. So no parts pricing is requested in this bid. The solicitation is written to capture pricing on all types of services to equipment, basically normal hours of operation, outside normal hours, and we'll look at the bid table in a minute. But parts are considered part of a repair service if they're needed. Not all services need parts. So just to be clear, this is all about the services and labor fees involved with services. And if parts are needed, obviously the cost of the part would be included in the service call. All right, let's talk about what you're seeing. So in Bonfire, you first get this kind of color-coded graph at the top, and the orange area is the entire amount of time that this bid is open to vendors to respond to the opportunity. The blue area is the evaluation period. That's when the bid finally closes, and now we're going to evaluate and look at all the bid responses and determine a bid winner. Now, with this particular bid, it is a little involved because of the multiple districts and the different types of equipment. So we are planning to award primary and backup vendors, and we will be awarding multiple vendors because some that are bidding may only service one city or one county area. Others may be larger and can service multiple districts in an area. So this opportunity provides that flexibility for small to large companies. And then, of course, we plan to have this awarded by mid-June, as all of our contracts and multi-region co-op begin July 1 of every calendar year. And it's an initial one-year contract with 4 single consecutive renewal options. So the potential to be an awarded vendor for 5 years in total not only makes your life easier, but makes our district's lives easier. You don't have to provide continuous quotes. They don't have to go out and get quotes, and it's compliant, which is the number one reason. Okay, if you're not into graphs, down here below, if you scroll down, you'll see that we've got it in list form, which I think is much easier. Open date, May 8th at 6 a.m. in Bonfire. We have questions due date of May 26th, and the closing date, meaning no more bids will be accepted, is May 29th at 4 p.m. So this is a 3-week window of opportunity to submit your bid response. I think it can be done fairly easily. Our forms and documents are pretty straightforward and easy to complete. The evaluate by date, as I mentioned, was at June 12th at 3 p.m. All right, now, where do you go? And your screen is going to look a little different in the left navigation panel over here because I'm logged in as an administrator, but you will be logged in as a vendor. So you are going to see a link called Files. And if you click on that link, it is going to take you to the public files or attached files from messages. So if we have to update something and we need to submit a version 2, then that might show, a 1 instead of a 0. Right now, there are 8 documents that need your attention and you will need to download. Now, obviously the solicitation packet is complete with cover letter and information on the solicitation, which you've already received, and all the terms and conditions that, if awarded, those become the terms and conditions of the awarded contract. There is a bid table, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. It is in Excel. This is a document you will need to just simply, all these, download and save to your computer. Checklist for vendors. This is the complete list of documents that you need to submit for a successful bid submission. So outside of these forms we are providing, there are some other documents that we do require, and we're going to go through that list. Delivery removal disposal form, the federal and state regulations certifications form, and a vendor participation fees form. Now, these are the documents, and then, of course, references form. These are the documents that need to be downloaded, and I believe you do have a bulk action. Maybe, I'm not sure on that, but, obviously you're going to have a download option here. You're not going to have an edit or delete option, so ignore that. So these are the files that we are providing in this solicitation. And then there are the requested information documents. Now, this is the complete list of what you must submit for a successful bid submission. Obviously, we've got a scope of services. That's a form that lists every district participating, and you've got to complete that Excel document and tell us which districts can you service. We have a bid table. I will correct that. It is actually an Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to look at it in a minute. All those forms I just mentioned, these are all fillable Adobe forms. And as I mentioned in a previous pre-bid video, you can open these right up in Adobe Acrobat, complete them, digitally sign them, and then save them and submit them. No printing or then scanning back in required unless you prefer to print them and fill them out physically. And we're okay with that. It's a choice that you make. I do have an open slot for other documents. If there's something else you want to submit about your company that is not specific to the requested, containers here, then please feel free to upload anything there. It takes multiple files, but they need to be in PDF. And please do know that if you attempt to upload, say, a Word version or an Excel file where we're asking for a PDF, the system should not let you upload that. We do require things be uploaded in our requested format. Obviously, there are some documents that the state requires us to collect in our solicitations. One is some type of a financial health and stability document. We're pretty flexible here. We will accept say a financial report score if you've got a recent financial review you had at your company. If you want to get a letter from your bank on bank letterhead, just with a simple statement that your accounts are in good standing, you're not a business that's about to close their doors. That's the only reason we ask for something. I have had companies submit a credit score showing they're in good standing with the credit bureaus. I don't need to see a complete credit report. We do not want to see that. That is not the goal here. We just want something that helps us ensure that you're not going anywhere. You're a solid business and you're here to stay. No one wants to have to deal with businesses closing in the mid-contract. We also need to understand your recall procedures, and this could be something very involved that your company has in place. Or maybe if you're a smaller company, you just have a statement. If you install a piece of equipment or a part, and that part becomes part of a recall, how do you deal with that? What's your contact procedures? What's your communication? And what do you follow through with the processes on a recall? Obviously, we need a current W-9. This thing needs to be dated pretty close to when you submit the bid. W-9s need to be in a 1-year range during the school year. And so we just need you to sign that before you submit it. Form 1295. If you've not done business with schools in the state of Texas, this is a House Bill 1295. It is explained in our solicitation packet and I believe in the Texas regulation certifications form so that you understand what it is. But you do need to register and provide us with a confirmation that you've signed that Form 1295. And then obviously, if you are a publicly traded company, this is not required. It's only required if you're not publicly traded company. And then, of course, if you are a small business, woman-owned, veteran-owned, historically underutilized business, and you've got certificates to prove that, please do upload those. So these are your requested documents. And once you're ready to submit, there is a submit button. I believe it's down in the left-hand part of the navigation panel. I don't see it because I'm not a vendor, but you will click on that and then just follow the prompts of submitting the documents that you have prepared and are ready for your submission. Now, if you have a question, and I show it as messages, but it might show up as vendor discussions in your navigation panel. And you'll notice that there is public notices and vendor discussions. Now, if you have a question, please use Bonfire to ask the question. The minute you submit a question, we get emailed. I will then log in and I will respond to your question with an answer. Anyone that is logged in and even just looked at this bid opportunity, this project in Bonfire, will receive an email with the question that was asked and the answer that was given. So it is 100% transparent on what's being asked of us in a Q&A setting, but it's all online. Now, if I need to make a public notice, maybe something's changed, maybe we had a district that jumped on the bid before this bid closes, I'm going to put that out in a public notice, and everyone who had logged in and looked at this opportunity, whether they're responding or not, will get a notice from the system with that public notice. So it's either messages or vendor discussions in your vendor screen. And that's pretty much it. It's very straightforward. If you watch the previous pre-bid conference video, we walked through the forms. They're all very easy to understand and complete. And I do want to show you the bid table. I did not cover that in the pre-bid, and it was something I meant to do, but we're covering it here. So typically in Bonfire, we have a built-in bid table because we're collecting pricing on products, but this is a services bid, and we've got some other questions for you. So I did set this up as a simple Excel spreadsheet. Literally, there's one row with multiple columns, and we just need you to fill in the blanks. And you will start with your company name. Obviously, we need to know what we're looking at here and which company. And then it just goes through, the questions are in the header cells. What are your normal hours Monday through Friday? What after hours are you available Monday through Friday? Some of you may be all hours. That's perfectly fine to put that in there. Is your company and reps available on the weekend? And do you have limited hours, or is it all hours? Obviously, if you've got limited hours, but you're willing to respond to, say, an emergency call, like a ASAP now, get over here, a few minutes ago type of situation, let us know in some of these fields, what your company is willing to do. Then if you charge an estimate fee just to come out and assess what repair is needed before you even start the repair service, what is that fee? If your company charges for travel time, in what increments, every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, what does that look like? And then what is the fee based on that increment? I've tried to give examples, and they are just random examples. I really don't know what these fees look like. About to find out with this bid, but please be clear in your answers. Then we step into your rates, your labor rates, your first hour rate, Monday through Friday, for weekend and normal and after hours and emergency calls. And then beyond that first hour, because I think that's pretty typical, at what increment are charges, being charged? So if it's every 15 minutes, you're going to get a quarter of that first hour rate, or is it every 30 minutes? What does that look like? And feel free to provide lots of information if you want. That's why, we can span this row to include whatever you need to write out. Do you provide preventative maintenance? Can you respond to requests in 24 hours or less? Can you begin work in 48 hours or less? So you can get a feel. I'm not going to go through all of this. I've already gone through a lot of it, but get a feel for just the few questions we have for you as part of completing your bid submission. And all of these do need to be addressed, so please don't skip any of the questions. If you do, we'll send it back to you for completion. All right, so that is the bid table, and there is Bonfire. Hopefully you will find it easy to navigate and work through, and we do look forward to all the bid responses as we do our best to help our district stay compliant with the Texas Department of Ag during their procurement reviews and utilizing their federal funds. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.